Hey guys, welcome back. We're with another video today, and I just wanted to say thank you for anybody who's watching right now. I'm trying to get into reviews, as I've said on my channel, as here and there reviews. I'm trying to slip in past the cracks of these bunch of random TikTok compilations that I'm trying to do. I really love video games, and I love anime, and that's why I thought I could review this game. It's a mixture of both. But I did want to let you know this is a very long game. I just wanted to say that before we got into the review. But now we're going to get into the review. And with this review, I wanted to talk about the story primarily. Like, that's what I'm going to be talking about a lot. Basically, your Iron Mask, without any spoilers, I'm trying not to spoil it. It's really difficult, but I'm going to do my best. Alright? You're this Iron Mask dude. You basically have no identity, and you join this girl named Shion. Now, this is like the first hour, two, and you go, and your main objective is to stop slavery, because in the beginning of the game, you are a slave, and then you break out, you save Shion, and you two work together to basically take down the 5 lords, and that's your primary objective throughout the whole game, and then it turns into some other stuff. I will say near the end of the game, around like maybe 10 to 15 hours left, it really drags, and I thought it was going to have a disappointing ending, but I was well surprised. Something happened, and I was like, oh. But basically, it's one of those games, like one of those anime games where you're fighting God, which was a little disappointing to me. I mean, something happens after you, quote-unquote, fight God. But there's just so many of these anime games, like, I'm not talking about stuff like Naruto and stuff. I'm talking about, like, jrpg anime games, where they're just like, alright, you'll start as this little character, and you'll build yourself up, like you did in this game, fighting the 5 lords. Yeah, let's fight fucking God, because that makes sense. No, that wasn't a good idea. Like, that should have not even been in the game. And I took a few points off for that reason, but added a few points back after what happened, so just stay with me, you know? I will also be reviewing the DLC. I just wanted to let this know before I continue with the review. I will be reviewing the DLC a little later. I plan to get back on that, and I'm, doing Silent Hill F. But anyways, past the story, I wanted to talk about the gameplay some. Now, the gameplay kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy 16 in the way with jrpg elements. And then you have these, like, cool moves where, like, you can team up with your teammates, and you do these special attacks, and then you got your own attacks. You would say you would have, in fighting game terms, your own super, and then your own ultimate, which you will get later down the line. And in the final boss fight, you just basically have all of them unlocked, and so you're like literally broken no matter what difficulty you are. I did play on easy. I know I'm a little ashamed of myself too, but when it's a long game like this, I don't want to struggle that much, because it's I'm going in for the long haul. And there's another part I wanted to add. When you get to different regions in the game, because since you're fighting 5 lords, 5 different regions. But basically, you'll get new companions in each one of them, and every new companion has their own little story. You might get some new companions, like I said, but you might also lose some old ones. Well, on the subject of companions, unfortunately, there's no such thing as loyalty quests. Like, you kind of gain their loyalty by, you sit around at the campfire to gain what you would call CP, which is basically action points to do, like, astral spells, which, are just regular spells that have a little own story behind them, that Danins can't really use spells, and it's a whole thing in the game. I don't want to explain it this whole video, because you'll just hear me yap like for 20-30 minutes straight, which I know you don't want to be here that long. But basically, you would sit by the campfire, and you would pick and choose who to talk to, and then you would talk to them, and that's the loyalty, quote-unquote, missions you would do. But speaking of missions, this is where I get a little more critical on the game. The campaign missions are fine. The waypoint's a little bit confusing, but I'll get into that in a minute. I want to talk about the side missions, or lack thereof. When I play an action RPG, especially a, Japanese RPG, a JRPG, I expect there to be some good side missions, and there's very few. Like, maybe the owl mission, and there was this one mission where you had to basically talk to this one best friend of this one guy who, his best friend died, and it was a whole thing, and he had to tell his mom. And that was a cool mission, too, but it wasn't voiced at all. And you have the whole campaign voiced, and I get it, you have to cut some corners here and there, I understand, but at the same time, what's the point of playing, some of these side quests if, they're not voiced and I have to read the subtext? I just find that a little annoying, but I will say, the dialogue, I don't know much about the Japanese dialogue, but I heard from a lot of people it's really good. Now, some people are mixed on English dialogue in this game, which, like most JRPGs, are always a thing. But this game, English dialogue, is pretty good. I think I really like it. Now, obviously, in the menu, when you boot up the game, you can change it. That's you. If you want to do that, that's your opinion. That's your taste. It's fine. But I just wouldn't spend a lot of my time on the side quests. If you want some cool gear here and there, that go do the side quest. If you want to level up and get really high, go do the side quest. But other than that, you're not going to find anything crazy story related. You might find a cool boss fight, one or two, but that's literally it. You will not find anything else, and I am very disappointed. But I wanted to talk about the graphics. Now, this game originally came out in 2021, so it's been a good 4 years. And I think even in 2025, this game still holds up. I know that's not a long time compared to some other games I've reviewed, but what I really love about this game, it's super unique. Now, there's some other anime games out there that do this, but this is one of the, what I would call, few. They have, animated cutscenes. It's not all the time. A lot of the time, it's video game cutscenes. And these animated cutscenes, speaking of which, I had no idea when I went into this game. A friend of mine watching me play this game told me it is the same people who made the animated cutscenes are the same people who make Sword Art Online. And speaking of Sword Art Online, there's a collab, which I find very interesting. Unfortunately, I did not get the time to play it, but a collab for this game where you can meet Kirito and, I forgot his girlfriend's name. I'm not super into Sword Art Online, so if you're a Sword Art Online fan, I'm really sorry. But you get to meet them, and they're fully English dub if you really want to listen to, the English dub version versus Japanese. That's your opinion. But they have that. But not only that, they also have, when you open up the game, they have this intro, and oh my god, the music, the score for this game is impeccable. But besides that, that's not the only time you'll get an intro. When you get more than halfway done with the game, when you get on what you would call the final arc after you beat all the lords, then there's another intro. There's a different intro that will play when you open up the game. And I feel like that's very unique. I haven't seen many animated games, anime games, whatever you want to call them, do that before. But in this, world, that's not all you can do, just the main missions or side quests. There's also a lot of activities you can do. You can go hunting for, some people. They're considered side quests, but they're not really. But you can also go fishing. One of your characters you will meet down the line will know how to fish and will teach you how to fish. And you can grab those fish for those camp visits, loyalty missions, whatever you want to fucking call those. You could do those. But I was really looking forward to the animated cutscenes, and I wish there was a little more bit of them, because anytime they popped up, I literally got some popcorn out, I was eating it, I was enjoying it like I was watching a goddamn anime. It was impeccable. But I think I've said all I could say about this game. Truly, I feel like it's a great game. It's not a perfect game. I haven't found one of these games that's perfect yet, but the boss fights are really fun. The story is, it's not all the way there, but it's mostly there, so it's pretty cool. And if I had to give it a number, a rating, I would give it a 7 out of 10. It's not the worst thing I played, but it's also not the best thing I played. But it's still a really good game. It's still a really fun game. You'll enjoy yourself, And I recommend picking this up if you're on PlayStation. It's on sale right now. If you're on Steam, it'll go on sale eventually. We know Steam. And it might go on sale on Xbox, or maybe even go on Game Pass at one point. It was on PlayStation Plus at one point until they got rid of it for some reason. It's a good game. I have no idea why. But it might go on sale for Game Pass, like I said. But I think that's all I could say about this review. This was a great game. Had a lot of fun. I hope when you guys play it, you have a lot of fun. But until next time, see ya.